Are you frustrated with endless feeding schedules? Let Grow Dots take the wheel. Imagine planting a seed and watching it burst into life, effortlessly reaching its full potential. Grow Dots' unique programmed release technology simplifies plant nutrition, providing all essential nutrients in a single application. Time-saving, efficient and hassle-free. From lush foliage to vibrant blooms, Grow Dots ensures each stage of growth is nourished to perfection. Compare this with traditional methods and you'll see why gardeners everywhere are switching. No more guesswork, just thriving plants. Join countless satisfied growers who've transformed their gardens with Grow Dots and recharge. Visit www.realgrowers.com/Cortez and make your garden dreams a reality. Why wait? Your best harvest starts now.
Go to the link in the description to save big and score free shipping on all Real Growers products, or use coupon code Cortez at checkout. Every time you save, you're also helping the channel bring you content like this.
What's going on, everybody? It's Cortez the Conqueror and Canna Alicia.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing today, Alicia?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So Noah's still trying to get connected here. I'm actually messaging him with him on Instagram over here.
Okay.
Here he is now. He just popped in backstage. Okay. Don't get a camera for him yet, but I see him.
That's good.
What have you been up to lately, Alicia? What do you got going on?
Oh, same stuff. Nothing nothing really fancy. Watching Christmas movies.
Nice.
Getting ready.
Yeah. I'm over here. I'm in like full-fledged harvest mode.
Yeah.
Take a dab to that. Yeah.
But it's
given the can. Let's see, Noah. Hey, Noah. We see you backstage there, bud. All right. But yeah, given the can try for the first time, I just put some Night Owl in there. I actually got a stopwatch, but that's on my phone, which is my camera right now. But I think it's been just about 24 hours. So I'm going to see what's going on with those when we get done with the show here.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Pop them into the oil and get running.
Right. Well, Daz knows I'm a sucker for like a good chem cross. So there's Smoky Stash. So it is like it's a chem cross, and then with the chem there's cookies. So it's like a cookies and chem cross.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Have you grown that before?
No, this is gonna be my first time with that strain.
Nice. That's
But I
exciting.
believe it's a cross of the Chem de la Compton. I don't know. I'd have to look back through my notes for the exact thing, but I know it's cookies and chem.
Yeah, that's cool. That's exciting. I love new growth, new strains, new opportunities. It's exciting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I have my I started to puff, but I told you the Otto's one of the, I think when I put it in my can, it grew so vigorously, the little tail popped right off of it. So I got to try another round because, like, okay, something weird happened here, but I think it's
Yeah, I
either the seed or
gotcha.
something.
That's why, since it's an auto, I think I'm only going to go about 24 hours in the can.
Yeah,
I just really want to crack the shell and then get it in some soil. But hopefully, using the can that kind of like increases like my germination rate, how many that I can get viable. So yeah, I had a
exactly.
5-pack of those, so I just threw all 5 in there, and I guess we'll see what happens. So
I guarantee all 5 are good. Hopefully, you have 5 pots.
hopefully at least 4, out of a 5-pack,
Yeah,
you kind of got to expect one not to germinate. It's just kind of the nature of seeds.
yeah. I guess it depends on genetics, but we'll find out shortly.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I see Noah popped in, but he just popped back out. All right. But yeah, then I got some clones going too. So I don't know. I got to kind of decide if maybe I just want to do like a couple autos and then some clones. I was kind of thinking too of maybe doing like a grow along. I don't know if that's something people would be interested in, but I have these blackberries, and it's the Tiki Madman Breeder's Cut. It's like you could really harvest in as little as 50 days, but it's more like a 55 day strain.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name? Chi-Town Hi-Fi actually just placed top 12 in a cannabis cup with the strain.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really neat. Congratulations. That's really neat.
Hell yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So, how many you think you're gonna try to get a roll along going? You think really like on Discord or Instagram or?
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. It was kind of an idea that I was kicking around this morning.
I think that'll be fun. I love little roll along. You can see all the different abilities of the strain.
Hell yeah. Hey, what's going on, Noah? Uh-oh.
Frozen.
He is having a little bit of issues over there. But yeah, I was thinking, because I'm going to have to top these at least once more, so I could probably get decent, I don't know, maybe 20 clones out of it and see if anybody wanted to grow it with me.
Yeah. How long do you take your clones?
Usually at least 4 weeks. Uh-oh, we got Ganix in the house. What's going on, Ganix?
I wonder if I don't know
chat.
if it would make any difference, but I don't know if you text him. I have to do StreamYard off of my data. Otherwise, I would be cutting out all the time. So if that's not what he's doing, you might want to try that.
Let's see. He just popped back in.
Florida Man Jeff. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Oh, yeah. Just trying to get it together. Uh-oh. Noah! What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, man? I apologize for the late entrance.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Coming in, making a fashionable entrance.
Yeah, I live in a very rural area, man, and it's overcast and rain and shit right now, so
I hear you.
Hey, internet.
Can you do me a favor, though? Can you turn your camera sideways?
Is that better?
We go. Yeah, now we got you in full screen. Yep. There we go.
Yeah, I'm having to do this on my phone because my laptop is not picking up the internet for some reason.
Yeah, I know. I actually just ditched my DSL connection yesterday, so you're actually my first guest with me having legit internet. I finally made it happen.
Nice.
So I definitely feel your pain there.
Yeah, we actually have a Firefly high-speed internet like at the end of our driveway, but they haven't come and spliced it and connected it to our house yet. So it's just like,
Yeah,
Really?
I was same boat. Like I just got Xfinity, but it actually just was an option like maybe 2 months ago. But
yeah.
it might be a good thing that I waited because I caught these Black Friday deals. So I got the $110 a month internet for $60 a month, and I got it locked in for 2 years. They can't raise my bill.
Sick.
Yeah. Those bastards, they ended up selling me. Then I upgraded my phones too. So I got the cell phone service through them now. I got the 16 Pro Max. I got my wife the 16 Pro. She didn't want a phone that was as big. So
Nice.
both got the 16s. We're leaving the phone store. I kind of look over at her in the car. I'm like, hey, you know this is Christmas, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. So how are y'all doing?
Doing
Pretty
well.
good, man. Pretty good. Just going
Good,
through
good.
some harvest right now, getting into this trimming a little bit, the fun stuff.
Yeah, I actually just harvested some stuff this morning, and when I get off here,
yeah.
I'll be trimming. So I feel you, man.
Uh,
So you do the
I
wet
know.
trim?
I'm sorry. What was that?
So you do wet trimming?
No, I have a perpetual, so I'm always trimming.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Hey,
For
Noah,
people
so
before.
to kick off the interview here, we actually had a question that was sent in from
Mhm.
our buddy Moondog.
Oh, cool. Yeah, right on.
So Moondog wants to know more about that marshmallow OG.
Tell him I haven't forgot about it. Nah, I haven't forgot about you, man. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's killer. I mean, it's kind of a newly plant. It needs a lot of support, but it grows these nice softball OG buds. The jet fuel gelato definitely comes through in it. But it's a killer strain, man. I love it. I'm working with it a little bit right now.
Oh, yeah.
I've got some stuff coming down the pipeline, some stuff that's actually maturing right now. I should be able to harvest some seeds in about 2-3 weeks, maybe, and start testing those. Maybe bring some to the cup this year and as testers, and maybe enter some of it. I don't know.
And then he
That'd be
says on
awesome.
the male to that cross, it's Chem D and TK, that triangle kush.
It's Chem D Triangle Kush times jet fuel gelato.
Wow.
Ooh. That's
They
good.
sound-
It's like, what do they say? Something old, something new, something borrowed.
Right. Yeah, man. I love seeing that kind of stuff, to be honest with you. When you get to a lot of the polyhybrids these days, and just to say, just like cookie stuff, any of that kind of stuff, man, like it gets a little overdone, and I like it when people take the newer stuff that's stable and cross it back to the older
old
school.
back to it. And then with some of this new shit,
yeah.
like especially with like the runs, it's like it gets you high as hell, but for about like 30 minutes, it's like the stuff don't got no legs on it no more. You know what I mean? But it's a
Right.
lot of like
I
the inflated THC levels, but they're not as worried about like the cannabinoids and the terpenes to give it like that full body,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely prefer older school stuff. And when I say older school stuff, I mean stuff that hasn't been cookieized.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with cookies.
Yeah. There was a time where like using ruts and everything. So yeah, I got got a boring.
It's kind of like the new OG Kush.
I don't know, man. It's hard to beat OG. I mean, people. I think it just really. Yeah, I mean, you guys understand. How the hype train works, man. I mean, it's like, whatever catches on, in New York or in LA or just anywhere in California in general it's gonna pop off, and people are gonna be like, oh, I want that, I want that, I want that. Like, And really what they don't realize is that there's so much better out there. And it could be in your own tent, man. You know, you could be making your own stuff and getting some incredible genetics out of, you know, just for yourself that people just won't ever really know because you don't get it out there, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I digress. It's kind of one of those things where I like the older school stuff just because that's all I ever had access to growing up. And when I first started growing, like, there were a couple people that you could get clones from, but you really didn't know what they were. They would say, "Oh, it's this, you know, local Afghani or whatever," and you know, so that was another reason for wanting to get into making seeds as well, because I don't know about you all, but you know, when I first started growing, I've been growing for about close to 15 years, and getting seeds was almost impossible. You had to get them from overseas, and you would mail the stuff off, and you're like, all right, crossing my fingers, like, what am I going to get? Like, you could
send them people Western Unions.
Oh my God, dude.
You remember when you had to go to like
are...
the service? You remember when you had to go to the service desk at Walmart to buy seeds because you had to fucking Western Union some weird name?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So that, you know, being able to make my own genetics and not have to worry about that was the main reason for me getting into you know, starting to make my own seeds and chucking some pollen and whatnot, you know. And that, and just also being able to help people out in rural areas like myself that don't really have, maybe they're in, you know, prohibition land, and they don't, you know, want to do all the mail crap, you know, buying from a website and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, you know, I can always just, hey man, what's your address? You know?
Yeah, exactly. And seeds,
yeah.
you can mail them now because there's nothing offensive about it. There's no THC in them, so it's not really an issue.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, you can even get, I think, like Rasta Jeff. Yeah, I mean, you know, and some people will even send like legality forms that say like these are legal, like there's no THC or anything in it. So like even if they do get picked, you know, for some odd reason, they, you know, post office, UPS, they can't really do anything about it. It's because it's,
I just got a pretty decent package from Daz from Night Owl not too long ago, and he had that. He had like, it was actually like his seeds, like laboratory run, so it had like the fucking levels on it and everything.
Yep. A buddy of mine does it, and I think Jeff does it. I haven't got seeds from him in the mail for you know, for quite a while, but I think I remember him doing that for a while.
Yeah. So how do you pick your strains that you're going to cross? Is it based on characteristics, or, you know, THC, or, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, it's several things. You know, growing things out a few different times just to try to figure out if it's something that I want to mess with. Like if I enjoy consuming it, then I'm probably gonna work with it, unless it's just a really, really crappy growing plant. But then there are some that I have worked with, like the Marshmallow G. It's a very vigorous plant, like it grows really fast, but it's just so noodly. But yeah, it's, you know, that's the main thing, just growing stuff out, making sure it doesn't have any intersex traits. And I, as most growers do know, like, you know, when you're stress testing things for genetic stability, like you kind of do that and not know it sometimes, just because you might not be the best grower, like, or you might be too busy or have too much going on, so you accidentally stress the plants.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it's been known to happen.
Yeah, or you get, you know, too messed up or something, forget to turn a light off somewhere in your area, and like then you know, so you know, that's a big thing is just, and in most pollen chucking breeders, people that, you know, play around with genetics and stuff, they'll tell you that, like, you know, but at the same time, man, it's also like there's a lot of really stable stuff to work with these days. So you don't have to do a lot of stress testing until you make those crosses and grow those crosses out. So as far as like choosing a parent, you know, you don't, not necessarily always having to test stuff because it's been done prior. You know, somebody's already done that work, which is great. And it's a lot faster of a process that way.
Yeah.
What about as far as the autos? What's your process with those? Because I know you're one of the few breeders that actually offers autoflower in regular variety.
Yeah.
So when I first started like growing inside, I was growing autos, and you didn't have feminized autos. And this was, you know, 8 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that, you know.
Okay.
You know, didn't have feminized autos, so you would just get regular autos and then grow the crap out of them because that's, you know, what you do. Excuse me. And yeah, so I just like one day I was like, man, this be super easy to make some bunch more seeds instead of having to order them, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I got started with the autos. And then I found some stuff later on that used to go by Mandalorian genetics. Now I think it's like Gnome Automatics.
Gnome genetics. Oh yeah, Gnome Automatics. Okay.
Yeah, Dan, he's a cool guy, man. He helped me out a lot, like when I first started growing indoors and working with some you know,
aren't
genetic
they the
stuff.
ones that do the coal miner's daughter strain, or am I mistaken on that one?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe he's been working that line for a bit. His flagship strain was the Anvil, and it was these really, really dark purple,
Super purple,
big purple plants, dude. And I was growing those a lot. And that's my first cross was I had an LSD 25 from Fast Buds. And I had a Anvil F4 male, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and I got a little extra room. I'm gonna see what happens. And man, those things turned out so cool. They would grow these like almost like 2 liter bottle size like colas.
Holy crap!
Just dark purple. Yeah, I have some pictures somewhere. An outdoor that was I'm holding a bottle up next to one of the colas. It's just big, massive purple thing. But yeah, as far as autos go, I haven't really done much else with them just because I haven't really feminized autos. You kind of need, as far as I know, you need a lot of room, and it's kind of like a more delicate process. Finding it as what's that?
I said, oh, is it? I was just kind of. Then it's more delicate.
Yeah, it's just more delicate because you know, Cortez, you could probably attest to this, but you know, when you're growing out autos, regardless of like the stability, like the genetic variances can be quite different sometimes, especially like in the morphology of the plant. So like if you grow out like a 10 pack of seeds of autos, like of feminized autos, like you got like one chance to spray that plant and get it to reverse and make pollen. and if it doesn't work, then your whole run is kind of like you definitely have almost, you know, ruined that one plant that you've sprayed. And sometimes the pollen will be bunk, and you know, there just doesn't work. But yeah, there's the Anvil. Yeah.
Well, I've never done any type of breeding. Like, I don't know. I'm more of a Sensimelia grower. Like pollen actually like really scares me. But I can attest to that with like autoflowers. Even if you got like a 10 pack and you run all of them, you're gonna find like even in some of the most stable genetics, you're gonna find at least 3 phenotypes. There's going to be seeds that don't pop. There's going to be seeds that just kind of do this like wonky ruderalis thing right away. That's kind of like, no, that one's not going to keep up.
Yeah.
She's gone.
So I still grow I still grow autos like pretty much every run. I'll, take a couple feminized autos and throw them in my flower room, just for the hell of it, and I find some pretty cool stuff every now and again.
I
But for the
just popped
most
some
part,
auto beans last night.
yeah, you were telling me some more night owl stuff, right?
Yeah. Yep, little Cookie and Chem cross. So what do
Nice.
you
Yeah, he's
have
done a
as
lot of.
far as in your like autoflower catalog? Because the only strain that I'm really aware of is like the Ramrod, but do you got others?
I have a couple others that don't really have any names or anything. I really didn't work with them too much. I just kind of got into other things. But I do have some CBD auto crosses. I called one of them Lilac Rain, and it was I forget the male on that one. I don't know. It's been a while, man. Like I said, I don't really do a whole lot with them anymore. I've been mostly just working on feminized photo stuff, just because that seems to be what is easiest for everybody.
Right.
They tend to be a little more reliable than autos, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, man, there's a place and a time for them, and I still grow them. I just as far as genetic work goes, I don't really do anything with them.
I feel you. But you have done some work with the JR token cut, haven't you? With that cherry paloma.
Yeah, buddy. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I think I was the first one to really do work with that cut. Besides Brad, obviously, but but yeah, when JR said, actually, I didn't get it from JR. I got it from Banner at the time. When
I got my first cherry paloma cut from Banner. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so like it wasn't too long after. Yeah, it wasn't too long after he like kind of let it out, and it just kind of showed up with some other stuff that I was really wanting. And after I grew out the first time, I was like, "Damn, dude, this plant is funky, and just will knock your socks off strong." For me, at least, it's a great smoke. However, when I started working with it, I reversed it and hit several things that I had in my library at the time. And Trop Cherry from that side of the cherry paloma is very dominant. Very dominant. It comes out, I'd say 8 out of 10 times you're going to get more of a dominant Trop Cherry. Now, it's not going to be all Trop Cherry. You'll get like little flavors and hints of whatever the receiver plant is, but it's mostly that Trop Cherry, which is good in some ways and bad depending on what you want. But the one thing that I'm excited about right now with the cherry paloma is I took a sour double cut, which is a clone only. I don't know if you've ever had that or grown that out, but
oh. Uh-oh. He was getting a little choppy there for a minute.
Yeah, it's gotten all. He'll be back.
Well, hopefully it comes back.
It's interesting to hear about like reading about us, because I've never really heard, from that state. So like, I didn't know it was more delicate. I just figured everything was the same.
With autos too, they're a little harder to breed with. So like a lot of the things that you got to do, people keep it like a really big secret. They keep it really close to the chest, you know what I mean? And they don't want to let it out. But most people are doing it with like colloidal silver to make like the feminized seeds.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that.
Yo, my bad, dude. I don't know what happened.
That's all good.
But yeah, I was just saying, I don't know what the last thing you heard was, but I'm working with the sour double cherry paloma. I call it Old Dominion Bubble. And the first couple times I grew those seeds out.
Oh, is that sour dub from Banner as well?
Yeah, dude. So
that's an amazing
quick story.
story, and I got to try some of that.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my all-time favorites with that and like Gorilla Glue, which sounds cliche, but it's Gorilla Glue is just such a great strain, man. But anyway, so I finally found a phenotype of this cross of the Old Dominion bubble that looks and grows like the cherry paloma, like bag appeal, but it has the sour double terps. And I'm really excited about that because, like I said, the sour double is not a great yielder. It's kind of a finicky plant, but not too bad. You know, it's a Kim kind of GG4 cross, so they can get a little, you know, CalMag hungry, nitrogen hungry, a little bit leafier plants. But anyway, so I'm really excited about it.
GG4.
What's that?
Oh, if I have trouble with plants, it's usually a GG4 cross. That one does get a little finicky at times.
Yeah, she just likes to eat. You just have to be on top of it. And that's, you know, a lot of, I hate to say it, but a lot of magnesium, calcium, especially before flower, kind of preloading that stuff in there. And are you still running the grow dots, Cortez?
Yeah. That's what I use in my grow.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I use, shout out Real Growers, obviously. Got the hat on and stuff, you know, representing Scotty. What's up? Don't kill me, but I'm not using the grow dots in my flower anymore. Mainly because of the perpetual situation. It's a little hard with the timing of, you know, throwing plants in. But I do use it in veg, and I use it on all my mom plants. And when I pull things
for that.
When I pull things straight out of the cloner, they go into a solo cup with 5 grams of grow dots, and that lasts for, you know, shit, man, like 3-4 weeks sometimes before I need to transplant. And then, you know, it's a great system. And then I'm also using the buckets. If you ever
gotta set it and forget it, like if you ever, especially with something like genetic preservation like that, to where you're just like getting some clones, maybe your intent's not even to flower them out, you just kind of want to like mom them out for like a future run, or you just want to grow them to take more cuts off of them. Grow dots is an amazing option because you just mix it in there and you don't got to worry about it. You got to do
water and recharge only.
Weekly recharge feed. That's about it.
Yep. And I still use recharge a bit. But yeah.
If you can I ask you this though? If you have any trouble with the grow dots and when you want to finish, have you tried to incorporate the New Millennium Winter Frost with the grow dots?
I do, actually.
So you can take some control back from the dots.
I do actually. I haven't run with the Ruby Fulvic, but I have. And I do use the Winter Frost, which, by the way, it works. It's not just a plug. It does work. And I find it most useful for plants when I'm trying to like, it's like, hurry up, man. Like, you know, like I've got 3 different, I'm a pheno hunter, man. I don't monocrop things. So I'm always,
for anybody out there that's running a perpetual, it's like, this could have gone a little bit longer, but this has got to go because this is coming behind it and it's going crazy.
Yep, 100%, 100%, and it works great.
I mean,
and shout out,
that's not the worst problem to have this like perfectly healthy green plant, but sometimes you're like looking at it, it's like, okay, you need to start catching a fade. You need to start getting some fall colors here. Like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, I try to choose the plants to throw in at the same time together that will probably finish around the same time. And if it's something new that I haven't run yet, then just, you know, trial by fire, man. You just go for it and see what happens. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I got the real Z cut, Skittles cut finally. I've never run that, but I've heard it's insane smoke and real good breeding stock. So I'm excited. I just flipped that today, actually. I let her get a little big, so I'm kind of like, oh shit, I don't know what it. Apparently, it stretches like 1.5 times, like, so it shouldn't be too bad. But yeah.
She likes to be leggy.
Paloma stretch.
Yeah, it's, like I said, that's what I was told, but I've got pretty decent lights and I can control my stretch pretty well when I need to. I also pop and twist and break that little fucker over and like keep it from stretching, to the lights. Sorry, am I not supposed to use foul language?
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. Because I know some channels are like, you watch the F-bombs.
I really don't care. I probably curse too much myself.
Yeah. Like to run 2 autos while I veg out my photos. Yeah, man, I've done that too. When I had a bigger veg area, I would just run my autos in the veg, just because they would get that extra light. That's cool. Chonky nugs.
Yeah.
I like that. Chonky.
Big shout out, Chonky. He's actually our new moderator. But starting soon, we got to work it out a little bit more to get him like the permissions and stuff. He's gonna come in for more of like a producer role, so he's gonna be like my Grambo. I'm finally gonna have like that guy like on Joe Rogan, you know what I mean? So if I'm just like going on some kind of rant or something, he can like look it up.
Yeah.
Hey, why was the War of 1867 started? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shout out Graham Beasy.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
Grambo's like that dude, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I was part of this video that he made. It was actually on autoflowers. That was the topic. I got to be a part of it with him. I just noticed a couple days ago that the video that he made that I'm on there with him just crossed 100,000 views on YouTube.
Sick, dude. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Your channel's picking up some steam too, man. I'm proud of you, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I do decent numbers, you know what I mean? But like, it was just so cool to be like even associated with something that did like over 100,000 views, because like that's the legit mark of going viral online is 100,000 views. But as cannabis content creators, our viral is 10,000 views. Like I got a couple things between here and Instagram, a few things that are like over 10,000 views, but to actually hit that 100,000 view like mile marker, like that's huge for something that's cannabis related.
Yeah, it's pretty badass, man.
Especially with all the censorship, all the stuff that they want to delete and everything, like it's definitely a milestone.
Do you think that YouTube will change their stance if cannabis is federally legal?
Either that, or I've seen like interesting things lately with the new administration that's coming in, where they're saying that they're gonna like stop like the Google and YouTube censorship. So I think that might help too, if they're not just as easily for like no reason, because at the end of the day, this is like freedom of speech, freedom of expression.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then especially like myself, like I'm medically covered, you know what I mean? Like I do hold my medical license in my state and all that good stuff. But I think it's like they can, like, it doesn't even have to just be cannabis. Like you could be like talking about something, and if they don't like what you're talking about, they'll just be like, no, I click this button and no one will look at your stuff. Like it's there, but no one will ever find it.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah.
I'm
they basically
technically being
like
legal, but there can be a reason to.
Yeah.
I'm saying. If it's
That's what happens when people can just
anymore,
kind of do whatever they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How did you come up, Noah? How did you come up with the name "Do You Right Genetics"? It's kind of like beautiful marketing, you know.
Actually, shout out 311, the band. Been a really big fan of them since the mid 90s. I'm a bit older than people think I am, I think. But yeah, they have a song off their first album called "Do You Right," and I knew that I wanted to kind of like pay tribute to them with, in some aspect of what I do, just because they've been such a big influence on me in my personal life and musically, and obviously doing this, but yeah, that's where it came from. Nothing too exciting, but it did have a good ring. I ran it past a few friends, and they were like, "Fuck yeah, dude, do that!" Like, that's just right, right for you.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that explains the alien and that too.
Yeah, man, I've been to like probably close to 75 311 shows since 1999. So yeah, it was
So what got
That's so
you into growing in the first place, Noah? Like, how old were you? What year was it? Like, where'd you get your start?
So the first time was probably like 19. It was like the summer after senior year. My buddy and I built a cabin, like a little cabin out. His parents had a big farm, and we just built this cabin like out in the middle of the woods. And it had this little clearing right in front of it. And we had gotten some really good, like, grade. It was like the real lime green grade that you would get every once in a while, that still full of seeds, but it was like the flower was actually really good. So we were like, damn, let's grow some of this. And we had like 4 plants, and 2 ended up being males and 2 were females, which was cool. But one of the plants got completely seeded, and then the other one was like partially seeded because we didn't know what the hell we were doing,
Oh, yeah.
We were just right in the ground, didn't feed them or anything, but they got pretty big, which was neat. So that was the first like legit time that I ever grew, but like really didn't get into it until I purchased my own home and got a little bit of property several years ago. And shout out to my wife. She was cool enough to let me do the thing, do the damn thing. But like I said, we live in the middle of nowhere, man. So like, I don't even have any neighbors to the left or right or in front and behind me for, a mile, half a mile. So a lot of outdoor for a long time, just kind of like getting seeds from Attitude Seed Bank and some of like Nirvana, like some of the, the European stuff, and just growing whatever I could, outdoors without being too, crazy about it, 3 or 4 plants here and there across the property kind of thing. Had some good harvests, man. I tell you, one of the best outdoor harvests I ever had was probably like the 3rd summer I grew. I had some kosher Kush from DNA Genetics, which is, if you can find, you can get clones of it, the mom that they used to make that cross. But
I've smoked some kosher Kush before.
It's nice. Badass, dude. So yeah, I have that picture of me holding that bud that you guys used in the promo, like in front of my face, like that.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Something's on real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, and then it started growing indoors about 6 years ago, something like that, 7 years ago. Just intense. And I had a couple mini fridges that I would gut out and like throw a little 100 watt HLG in there and, rock out some auto flowers and stuff. And then probably, I think it was like 2018, I got my industrial hemp license, and was actually growing legal hemp on my property I did that for 2 years.
Like
and then
hemp? Agricultural hemp?
Well, I mean, that's what the license was for, but it's, it was smokable hemp flower. Like, you remember when hemp flower kind of like hit the market, and like, it's like, oh, it's like nugs, but it doesn't really get you high. You kind of make you feel good. Like, so anyway,
it'd be in like, in Chicago, at least, it'd be in like kind of like shady corner stores. Like the little like middle.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably weren't really going out looking for it.
Yeah, no, it was like the little like Middle Eastern like gas stations, but I was like, no, I don't want this. Like, I have my own real weed. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. But it was really kind of like a way to like disguise the real stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I had an acre. I was like
Cover crop.
I could grow on an acre. Like that was my plot. And so, I'd have anywhere from 150 to 200 hemp plants and then some other stuff in there too, so but I got out of it because they turned it over to the FDA. The Virginia Department of Agriculture closed that section. It was a private section. And so it went to the FDA, and you had to do background checks and hire your own testing agents. And like, it was at first like a random pick. Like they would pick your license number out of a lottery. And they would call you if you got picked, and then they would have a testing agent come to your property and test, like they'd sample like a couple different plants, and then but yeah, I got out of that because it was just getting too involved with
headache. Yeah,
it was a headache, and I didn't want to
wasn't worth the squeeze. No.
Right. I didn't want to put myself in a position to where I couldn't do the things that I really wanted to do because, hemp wasn't what it was all about. It was just, I guess I can talk about that because it's done. But
if it was over 7 years ago.
Yeah. So anyway.
I don't know, with something like that, you might want to, sometimes you just don't want to draw attention. You guys kind of.
Right. That was the main thing. I didn't want to draw any attention. I had a legit, at that point, I had like kind of a legit thing going inside, and I didn't want to draw any attention. I needed to.
Don't want some pencil pushers popping up with the little pocket protector things. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, dude. And like, it's totally a legit job now. You can get, it's a like a contracted job through the Department of Agriculture, where you can be a testing agent, and like you go out to all the hemp farms or anybody legally growing and test it, and like they have to pay, like the farm has to pay you. It used to be the other way around, like
right.
But
come up, and then there's some like guy that comes from, hey, you come here.
Well, they can just show up.
They're getting
unannounced now.
Oh, I know. But no, I'm just saying, I bet you those guys are getting passed envelopes.
Probably. Yeah, no, in Virginia. Yeah, probably. There's a lot.
Do you want to go to jail or do you want to go home?
Yeah, no shit, man. Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of old, like, cannabis cultivators in Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia's got a strong grow community.
Yeah.
That's where Guru's from. There's some other.
Yeah, Guru.
Is Duke Diamond out of Virginia, or am I mistaken on Duke Diamond?
Yeah, oh yeah, Duke's from Richmond, man. All right, so
yeah,
Duke and I are roughly the same age, and so we kind of grew up around the same time in the same area. I didn't really know him. I didn't know him at all, like until I got into the grow scene. But yeah, he grew up probably about 45 minutes from me. Kind of the same.
I got to meet him like 2 years ago at the Cup. Definitely legit dude. Cool guy.
He's a solid guy, man. He's been through a whole lot of shit, man. And shout out to him for just keep on, just trucking through it all and still being so dedicated and such a steward of the plant. Like that's the thing that I like about Duke a lot, regardless of all the drama that he's been in and around. It's never really been about the cannabis scene. It's been personal decisions that he's made in his life rather than, I don't really know a whole lot, but he's powered through, man. It's awesome work. I always grow his gear. When he drops something, I usually pick it up. I literally have a
guy. He's somebody that I consider a friend.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely. I got a lot of good things to say about him, man. I could go on and on, but anyway, he's one of those dudes that was an influence on me as well, as far as like starting to breed and make my own genetics and whatnot. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
What you puffing on, homie?
I don't even know anymore because it's like I don't
really
like
a pile of weed.
Yeah, it's like a salad because I have the weed from my last harvest that I don't really want anymore. It's like the crumbs and dust of it. And then I have like
Mhm.
this stuff I just harvested, but it's not really it's like just barely dry. So it kind of like doesn't get me that high yet. So
Right.
it's almost like
Right.
I'm mixing that old weed with the new weed and trying to I don't know. I'm just trying to get by. I'm just trying to get by, man. I'm just trying to get by.
I feel you. I feel you. I had to shut my operation down for about 4 months last year because of some renovations we had to do in our house, and so I was scraping crumbs, dude.
Yeah.
But luckily,
I mean,
I've got several.
to help me out
Now,
on Friday, I want to treat myself. I stopped at the dispensary and grabbed some concentrates. I grabbed 2 grams of this devil driver, but dude, I've like damn near scraped this 2
Oh,
grams
wow.
since Friday night.
dang. Yeah, I'm not much on concentrates, man. I like them. I just don't. More of a flower dude. I like bubble hash. I make bubble hash quite a bit. I know some old school heads that really enjoy it, so I like it for them. It's a good way to use up all your trim and like popcorn nugs and stuff
Hell
like
yeah.
that, and then
Oh yeah.
makes
That Ooh, we lost them. That's actually what I make all of my edibles out of is flour
Yeah, all the
and
extras
trim and
and
everything. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, like a
exactly.
lot of people try to insist on using like rosin for edibles, but no, not using rosin, not using distillate. I'm using good old flour.
Yeah, I wonder if there's something going on like I'm on the East Coast too. My internet just like froze, and I'm like, okay, I got to get out here and reset it. He's having issues too. Maybe it's the drones.
Yeah, maybe it's these damn drones.
Now we have
They're,
something to
they're
blame things
lucky
on.
they're not in. They're lucky they're not in Chicago. Somebody would have already shot one of those things down.
I'm surprised nobody has out here too. We can be pretty redneckish.
So I actually seen a
Welcome back.
video this morning from New Jersey, and somebody was shooting from the sound of the rounds that were being fired
What's
a
up?
handgun at one of them.
I think I'm back.
Yeah, you are.
Guess
You
who's
know,
back?
Hey,
Back again.
Yo. Noah's back. Tell a friend.
oh man, I apologize. It's
We
just,
both have
and
been
then
having
everything went black. It's like, and then everything went black.
it.
So
Oh
I
man,
use my phone as my camera, but it's through this program. I think it's called like Idiom or Iridium, whatever it's called. But if my internet drops, rather than go black, it's a picture of an orange cat in the middle of the screen, and like that just kind of pisses me off that much more. It's like, is this thing trying to call me a pussy?
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
man.
like, what the fuck, man? That's not cool. You could
usually
at
don't
Anybody
least
have
who's
this,
put like a
this
hurting,
bad of a
dog or
problem,
something. Why'd you have to put a cat for me, fucking thing?
it's adorable.
right?
It makes me
What is
smile when
this?
Alicia's a big cat person. Well,
Oh, I got you.
not to judge her though, because me and my wife got an unintentional cat. She's about a year old now. We got her out of the alley. Prissy little thing now. She's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
She almost forgets
Spoiled
that
now.
she used to drink from a puddle and have to like hunt her meals. She was a scrawny. She was a scrawny little thing when we got her, but she's become a little thickums now. Back at that neck's getting a little thick.
Yeah.
Nice. I love fat cats. Fat cats are the best cats.
Me too.
Yeah.
Do you eat any animals, Noah?
Yeah, man. I have right now we just have one dog. It's the least amount of animals that I've ever had my entire life. We recently lost a cat to cancer about 6 months ago. I just haven't really kind of like in the period so busy. I'm like, do I need another animal? Like I like having a cat around because they take care of like, you know, the mice, because we live in such a, you know,
yeah.
low key backwoods area with snakes and mice. They're just everywhere, you know, and so the cat definitely. But
Get
no,
you
I've
good
got a
cat,
dog.
run a little bit of offense.
Yeah, we don't do cats indoors because we got a lot of allergies and stuff in our family. But yeah, we got a dog. He's like a black lab mix, and he's the best pupper we've had in a long time, man.
Got you one of them old pointing dogs.
Man, he's like mostly black lab, but then I think he might have like some chow in him too because he's kind of thick around the neck and he's got black spots on his tongue.
Oh, really?
But yeah, he's a cool dog. He's it's hunting season around here now, so there's deer running all over the place and people all over the place with dogs, hunting dogs and whatnot. So he's on edge right now. But anyway, enough about my dog.
Hey, so we got Galaxy Solutions here, and he wants to know what's the best weed you've ever grown?
And like as far as like smoke report best or like best weed, I guess I could do both.
Well, what's the one that just comes off the top of your head, like without thinking about it, if you had to answer?
Man, the sour double, man. That's some of the best shit I've ever had, really. Oh, actually, I take that back. Duke had at the Cup last summer had a strawberry cross, and I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but it was the best weed I smoked the entire time I was in Colorado, and the best smoked in a very long time. You hit it, and it just cuts your entire mouth with that creamy strawberry kind of like taste.
Oh wow!
But other than that, what I've grown and like myself, I like the sour double, man. It's hard to beat.
When I went for the Cup in 23, I was out of weed by the time that I was leaving Colorado. I was almost late to get to my plane and everything. Dude, where's my bong? And me like overslept. We woke up. So it was like this huge panic, but I was like out of fucking weed. And you know, I'm about to go to the airport. So I'm like checking myself. I still had like the same jeans on from the day before. And I'm like, man, shit, I need some weed before, you know, I got like anxiety and shit. So I'm like, man, I really need some weed before I get on this plane. I'm not the best flyer. Sometimes I start to play tricks with myself. You know what I mean? I went in like that little pocket and I had in a cigarette in the cellophane from a cigarette package, some of that sour double, and it was from Banner. Colorado crumbled to the max. But I didn't fucking care, dude. I smoked the shit out of that on the way to the airport, and it kind of made things a little bit better. Even though I'm still not really a big fan of flying.
Yeah, man, I had a terrible experience leaving Denver last summer. It was my flight got delayed
that
like 4 or 5 times.
Oh my god, that Denver airport! What do they call it? The Illuminati headquarters. You ever seen any of the conspiracy theories behind it?
There's a lot of conspiracies about that one.
I literally I'm still considering driving out this year. Just taking a whole week off. I'm driving. Just driving. Yeah. Are you?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be vending this year. I'm gonna be doing food service, but I'm also getting married. So I'm going out there early. I'm gonna go out there like a week ahead of time, but I'm gonna take a week off of work, but then I'm gonna stack both my floating holidays with it. So that'll give me like 11 days off paid. The 2 floating holidays will buy those are gonna be days driving back. I mean, I did it last year, like going out there. I drove 1,000 miles straight without taking a break. 15 hours. Yeah, 1,000 miles. 15-hour drive. I got it done in 17 and a half. So that's not too bad. That was like 2.5 hours of bathroom, food, gas.
Yeah. Wow. It's about a 23-hour drive for me, so I would have to split it into a couple days.
Yeah.
Which that's the only thing that sucks. Is like you got 4 days of travel, man, and like
I know.
I feel you on that one. Yeah, I drove
putting all the miles on my
17 and a half
car too.
hours straight. I
Do they
was
have a-
destroyed by the end of that.
Did they do a train? I wonder. I don't know if
I actually
trains
looked
are
into
free to
that.
ride
I don't
anymore.
think there is one that goes from like an Amtrak train that goes from here to there without making a lot
Like
of stops.
Connections or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But like where I live, there's a train station probably about 30 minutes from my house, and I can get to DC in 3 hours, and I can get to New York in 8 hours, 9 hours, New York City.
Yeah.
So that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
You have
That's
to take
pretty
a
cool.
train. You might have to come to like Chicago and then like reroute to Denver from Chicago or something like that. You know?
Yes,
Fuck
fuck that.
Yeah. You guys should make it.
What part of Chicago do you live in, man?
Southside. Yeah,
Southside.
I don't live in a good area.
Yeah, I can imagine. I have a sister-in-law. I have a sister-in-law that lives in Wheaton, which is like a suburb of Chicago.
South suburb. Yeah, it's part of the Chicagoland area.
Yeah, I was there a couple years ago, man. It's cold here, like in the winter, but God, man, I don't know how you guys deal with it.
So there was a day last week where I got to work and it was 5 degrees when I got to work. But with the wind chill, it felt like it was negative 15.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, well, they say though, if you can make it in Chicago, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah, you gotta be a tough SOB, I'm sure. Did you grow up in that area?
Yeah, I've always lived in Chicago or like somewhere around the Chicagoland area, so I've been here my whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone other places. Like I've been all through the South, like Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida. Spent a lot of time in Florida. I've been like out of the country, been to California a couple times, Colorado a few times now.
Yeah, man, I lived in Colorado for about a year.
I've never been east of Dayton, Ohio.
Really?
Yeah. I think
Dude,
I'm kind of
you gotta experience
the East Coast.
You have to experience. This may sound really lame, but you got to experience the coast of Carolina, man. The Carolina coast, like from the Outer Banks all the way down to South Carolina, is awesome. It's just like
I wouldn't mind something like that because I'm really into like mountains and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I live basically like in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Hell yeah.
It's really pretty around here. I love it, especially now that cannabis is legal in Virginia. So I was thinking about moving back to Colorado for quite a while, and my wife was on board for
options.
But once that happened, I was just like, all right, I'm staying.
Yeah. I lived in Carolina. I lived in Raleigh, but I used to stay in Wilmington.
Okay.
Which is like
Wilmington
or Carolina Beach, Wilmington.
I love Wilmington. Wilmington's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
it was fun.
They need it. I don't understand why North Carolina hasn't legalized recreational yet. I mean, or at least medical, man. I mean, with the cities that they have, Raleigh, Charlotte. I don't think so. I think it's. Yeah, I think they're still pretty like high. Yeah.
So
everything like above me. Sorry. Yeah. No, you're good. I was just gonna say everything above me, like like Maryland is legal, DC's legal, New Jersey's legal, Pennsylvania has a medical, but it's pretty relaxed. I don't think anything else in that area is legal, but it was kind of that thing for a while where like you could be on the DC Beltway and drive in a circle and go in and out of DC, Virginia, and Maryland, and you'd be like legal, illegal, illegal, legal. You know, it's like what
Yeah.
the fuck. My daughter just applied to UVA. Sick. That's a great school. Charlottesville's a cool town too.
Well,
I don't see why the whole
shout out,
plant is not legal. I mean, I agree with you, but it's just ignorance. People just don't either A, care enough, or B, don't know enough about the plant to make it legal. They don't realize it's not just something we get high on. It's medicine. It's scary, you know. Enhance life, in my opinion. The occasional smoking something way too strong, take 2 minutes to tab. Like there's nothing I don't like about it.
Uh-oh. I think we lost you there for a minute.
Am I there? I'm still here, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. Hey, what's going on, brother?
I can see you guys and hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Got a little choppy for
my
a minute there.
Somebody tried to call me. Somebody tried to call me. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. You can't control who calls you. That's okay. Well, that's what I'm kind of surprised with North Carolina, because like you said, Charlotte, and then like with Duke and all these like very Chapel Hill, like Raleigh, it's all very progressive, and you think that like those are where the main populations are. It would have that would have gone with the progression of the new kind of technological and the young people taking over.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and they're both, and it's definitely party towns too.
Especially
you know, the college
once
towns, like,
the old guard sees the tax benefits. Like, wait,
yeah,
this other state made how much? Okay, I guess we can let these hippies have it.
Right. even though they're all probably already smoking anyway.
Right.
But they have to put up face.
Fucking closet stoners.
They're
secretly watching our program right now.
Meanwhile, they're over there like J. Edgar Hoover, you know what I mean?
Right. Oh, man.
That guy off the Silence of the Lambs movie.
Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill, he was a character.
I remember seeing that movie the first time. I was probably like 12 or something like that, and just being like, oh my God, there's people like this?
What's up with that dude? Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember the first movie I watched that I wasn't really supposed to watch was Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You remember that one? For some reason, my mother forbid me from watching it, but like back in those days, because this would have been like, I don't know, the early 90s, so this would have been like maybe 91, 92. Like none of us were allowed to watch it, but we had one kid whose parents didn't give a fuck, so he had VHS tape. So we all snuck over to his house and we watched that shit in his bedroom.
Yeah, I remember seeing Terminator like that. I wasn't allowed to see Terminator. Yeah. That scene where he like
was Predator
eyeball out. Like, yeah. I think I have a cool story about or a funny story about like watching movies that you probably shouldn't be watching. I was like 12 or 13, maybe. I had strep really bad, and I was really sick at the house, missed school. And this was like back in the day when like you still go to the video store like to rent movies, like VHS tapes and stuff, right? So my dad I was like, Dad, can you, before you go to work, like, you know, can you like go to the movie store and rent me some movies or whatever? And like, he's like, yeah. And he came back on his lunch break, brought me some movies, and like one of them was Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke. And I just remember being like, what is this? He's like, you got to watch it. It's hilarious. And it like changed everything.
That's hilarious. That's so funny.
It didn't
That's
make me
like
want to
one of
smoke
my
weed. It was just like, I didn't really understand. Like I wasn't like at that point in my life, I had no idea about cannabis culture. And that was kind of like the first, like,
your
oh, it's not like
introduction
this
to it.
crazy bad thing. Like they're laughing and
The
joking
reefer
and
madness
having
kind of
fun.
thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I grew up in a Southern Baptist home. I was forced to go to church every Sunday, every Wednesday and like that shit was way like a major
Went
no-no.
to chapel on Wednesday.
Yeah, man. We had youth night on Wednesdays and then like regular church, like Sunday school church on Sundays.
Hell
And the
yeah.
day I turned 18, I told my mom I was not going to church anymore. And I haven't been since.
I
And if
remember
that's your
one
thing,
of my
that's cool.
friends had that
I'm not
movie.
Yeah,
hating.
exactly.
You remember that movie
Yeah.
Nowhere to Run with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Okay, so it's like a late 80s, early 90s movie. One of my friends had it and they showed some titties in there for about like 2-3 seconds. But we would like go over to his house and watch it. We'd like rewind it. And his dad would always get mad because you remember with like a VHS tape, if you rewound it too much in a certain spot, it would put like, these, like ribbons on it.
Yeah,
So
we stretched the ribbons out, yeah.
his dad would go to watch Nowhere to Run with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and all of a sudden it'd be the titty scene and it'd start going like all wavy.
That's really good. That's really good.
He just start hollering at the both of us.
Oh man, the 80s and 90s were so great to grow up as a kid. I mean,
Yeah,
I look
really
back
were.
at it and I'm just like, we had it the best, really, compared to like kids. Like I have young kids myself, and I'm like, y'all just don't know, man. Like you got all this technology and stuff, and it just kind of ruins the child's like perspective of like what the real world is.
I agree. Like, goodness, we had like TV, and
Here
it was
we go.
so much. There were so
This
many
movie
things you
right
just
here, you
don't
guys
have
don't
now.
remember it? Jean-Claude
Right.
Van Damme, he kind of played this like drifter guy here. So he'd like come into town on his motorcycle with like his tight jeans doing his Jean-Claude Van Damme stuff. But then some lady, I don't know, she like took him inside. He was just kind of like a grifter, but he ended up like hooking up with her. So that's where the titties came from.
I'm gonna have to watch that now.
Uh,
I'm gonna pause it, take a screenshot of the titty scene, and then send it to you.
you should. Oh my gosh.
It actually
Bring
is
back
a pretty
memories.
decent movie if you guys are into like late 80s, early 90s, like action movie kind of stuff.
Dude, I'm all about 80s movies. My entire left leg is covered in tattoos that make from like 80s movies references.
I saw the Star Wars. I did see that on your Instagram, the Star Wars tattoo.
Oh yeah. I've got two. I've got Darth Vader, and then like on my knee, and then on the back of my leg, I have a TIE fighter.
Oh, awesome. That's cool.
What was another good one? You remember Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes?
That was a good one.
I-
I didn't really watch it that many times though. Yeah.
It
But
was good.
yeah, I love movies, man. Music, all types of music. What kind of music do you guys listen to?
No, mostly rap, hip hop.
It's like fucking like I don't know, alternative. Like what I listen to, like I would listen to consider like 311 alternative, something like that kind of stuff still. But eclectic
Right on.
rock more as I got older.
Right. I hear you. Yeah, I listen to everything from. I play drums in a Grateful Dead tribute band. I've been doing that for 10 years, and so like I love stuff like that. But then I also listen to like really obnoxiously heavy stuff too, and then kind of everything between.
I'll be right back, guys.
All right, sounds good.
I
I might
love
have to
Iron
jump
Maiden.
off here. Oh,
Okay.
Iron Maiden's great. Iron Maiden's great, man. My dad went to go see them several times, like in the 80s, like when he was in like high school and whatnot. But yeah, they I don't like Bruce Dickinson as a person just because I think he's kind of like a snotty brat and he's like very anti-cannabis. Like he yells at people for like smoking weed at their concerts and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know
But
that
as
much.
far as musically they're great, man. I mean they write really cool stuff. But like with the Grateful Dead stuff, I think I kind of grew up just like a metalhead like punk rock kid. And when I met my wife, she was kind of like really into that. Like her parents are like old hippies and stuff. And she took me to this, it's called All Good Festival in West Virginia. And like this was in like 2010. And they had like the remaining members of the Grateful Dead had a band called Further. And it's the first time I'd ever seen any of them live, and just being around the atmosphere and like probably a little bit of mix of like some drugs and stuff. Like, you know, you're just like, oh man, this is awesome. And then I found out that there was some local like Dead tribute bands around our area, so we would go see them. And then I had some friends, like mutual friends through some other people that started a Grateful Dead tribute band, the one that I'm in now. So they needed another drummer because they have 2 drummers in the Grateful Dead, and they asked me to do it, and the rest is history.
Yeah,
badass, brother. Really cool. So, do you got anything upcoming that we should look out for?
Nothing like as far as like to sell. I'm kind of like in the middle of doing a bunch of hunting and stuff, and like I had to have that renovation done on my house. I had to close up shop for a few months. So it put me back further than I wanted to be. But I will have some stuff available probably in the next couple months. Testers, just stuff to get out, you know, get people growing. But the ODB,
maybe something to look forward to a little bit closer to the cup then.
Absolutely. I'll definitely plan on having some packs to give away at the cup. I usually try to always bring, you know, a couple hundred packs. I think I didn't bring as many last year because I was in between like seed runs. But I've given out probably 1,000 seeds or more to the DGC in the past couple of years, you know, just give them away, you know, whatever. Like, I just want to see people grow.
DGC. We appreciate you.
Yeah, man. That's kind of where I got my start, and you know, people helping me out, and you know, Scotty and Banner. I mean, Banner is like one of my best friends, man. We talk like every day, pretty much. And Scotty, I don't talk to him as much anymore. He's a busy dude. And then dude is like impossible to get in touch with. I mean, I'll send him a text, like I'll shoot him like a video of like a mountain bike, you know, something or whatever, you know. Yeah. And then like 3 days later, he's like, holy shit, you know.
Yeah. Like,
but big shout out to those guys and Grambo and I don't really know Nate too well, but he seems like a decent guy.
Oh yeah. Big shout out to Heisey. He's definitely helped me with a couple things recently.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. But well, hey, look, I really appreciate you guys having me on. This has been a lot of fun chatting and getting to know you better, and hopefully we can do it again sometime, and I won't have as bad of internet service, and I can take y'all in the grow and show you around a little bit, and cool. talk some more grow. And hey, one thing I wanted to ask both of you, because I'm always interested, and then what sort of like IPM measures do you all take? And if for people that are listening that aren't familiar with that, it's integrated pest management. It's how you control pests and mildews and powdery mildews and mold and all that kind of stuff in your environment.
So it's actually kind of funny. I got my IPM hat on today.
What is it? I can't see it.
Again,
Lost.
Oh, right on. That's good stuff. Yeah, man.
Lost Coast Plant Therapy. We might be able to get Dirk on here at some point. We're pulling some strings with Rasufa to get him on. He'd definitely be cool. Have you met Dirk yet?
I haven't. Was he at the Cup last year?
He was. He was at their booth.
Okay. Yeah, I walked up there. Then I probably did meet him because I definitely walked up to the booth and talked to him. But you know how it is when you're at places like that.
Dirk is like a little bit, he's not that old, but he's kind of like a little bit older gentleman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I actually shot like a 60-second thing with him while we were there.
Cool.
Like a little real quick.
And so do you only use Lost Coast Plant Therapy, or do you have a regimen where you alternate between products?
So if it's just kind of like for prophylactic measures, it's just the Lost Coast. If I run into something else, then I might have to step it up. As far as IPM, I am a big fan of beneficial insects.
Nice.
Nematodes, beetles, ladybugs are less effective.
Yeah, I've used ladybugs and indoor, and I did it one time, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of pointless. And what about you?
Well, during the outdoor season, we'll do the treatment. I can't remember who makes it. I'm really sorry. And then it's like a pepper like spray. So use that on the leaves, and then just Lost Coast Therapy. So we're trying to interchange the two. I know you want free, but I just recently received from winning a high grow punch, and I wanted to kind of introduce that. So I have 3 different things, so they don't give something, and then do it the whole grow.
Sometimes I'll incorporate wettable sulfur also. That one's really effective.
Yeah, wettable sulfur works great. I usually go between Lost Coast, Dr. Zymes, and then if I have I've had rustic mites, and I've the best thing for that is stuff called Suff Oil X. It comes in the only way you get it's in like a big 3-gallon jug, and it'll last you forever. But it's expensive. But yeah, I usually will incorporate that as a knockdown, just like once every couple months, just in case there's like some eggs or something still lingering around that I don't want.
Oh yeah.
But for the most part, it's just a weekly regimen of between the Dr. Dimes and the Lost Coast. I will say for outdoors, I did buy a bunch of assassin bugs a couple years ago, and they're still around. Mm-hmm. I still see them. I don't know. I guess they hibernate. But those things are badass, dude. They will the worms, like the bud worms and stuff, that will just completely decimate your crop. Like I've seen it like on the edge of a bud with one in their mouth, just like chomping, just like chewing it. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Anyway, well, cool. That's. I always like to ask people that, and because it really starts. Everything kind of starts with having a clean area, and when I say clean, I don't mean sterile. I just mean free of mildews and molds and pests and stuff. It really starts there when people ask like, how can I be the most successful? I'm like, your environment, making sure it's clean from those things and just staying on top of it. And really, you're not going to get let down unless you do something like run grow dots and feed your plants something else at the same time. Yeah. Then you're going to be fine. I had a friend do that, and I was like, why did you do that? He sent me a picture. I was like, what happened to your plants, dude? He's like, oh no, I was just feeding them this stuff right here. And I'm like, but don't you have grow dot here too? Yeah. Well, there's your problem, dude. Like,
exactly. Why do you bother getting the grow dots then?
Yeah, well, he's a new grower, and
yeah,
I'm sure I told him, like, hey, this is all you need, but he probably was like stoned and kind of forgot
watching
about
the YouTube videos and was like, oh, I'm gonna try this because this person said it.
Yeah, right on.
It works for them.
Well, cool.
Let me try some shit
everything
real quick to ruin my grow.
Yeah, I appreciate you all. Thanks for having me on, and everybody watching. shout out if you need anything. You can find me at Do You Right Genetics on IG, and I have an email, doyourightgenetics@gmail.com. And if you need help with anything, tips, seeds, just hit me up. I'll do my best to help out.
And if anybody's
Thank
trying
you.
to connect with Noah, I do have a clickable link for his Instagram in the description.
Cool. Peace.
Hell yeah.
Thank
Later,
you.
man. Well, he's definitely a cool guest to have on, huh?
Yeah.
I can kind of relate.
I'm glad we get connection back.
I know. Like I was so worried about like my connection today because it was like the first time going with this broadband that I got. But I wasn't the one with the internet problem today.
I don't
But
know.
I can totally
and I was
empathize
it's
with
even
it,
real
it's just like, I've been there, done that. But
It's
still
really
try to
choppy right
have
now for
a
me.
decent show. Yeah. I think we're gonna go ahead and end, but all right, everybody. Until next
Thank
week.
you.
Peace out.
I'm nothing to play with. Go and find yourself a toy.
Let me this bitch retarded.